Ray, over to you, management report.
I have 10 items here. One I'd like to expand a little bit on. We conducted a monthly test for fecal chloroform for water quality. This is a test to test the quality of water for swimmable water and fishable water, as I put it. And we saw really elevated levels, which we don't have an explanation for. The discussion with Wayne, we're going to conduct weekly tests until we determine if that's a trend. A lot of factors may be contributing to it, like runoff from your aquifer and other factors we don't know about. So that's of interest to me. The first number here, 43, was the only time that we achieved that high of a number was one time last year for the same for beach 2. So the numbers have shown significant increase, but still are well within the acceptable range. On item 10, I have Paul Bin's dot information. This is an update which we could use later and as we get into the executive session. I just include that for information purposes only.
Shouldn't you be more concerned about the reading at beach 1, which is double the reading at beach 2?
It's still half the acceptable standards.
So you're concerned at beach 2 because it's higher than normal at beach 2?
I'm just saying that was the highest number we received last year, as I recall, 43. That was also for beach 2. It was the exact same number.
You know, they probably is normal because of all the rain. There's a lot more runoff.
Well, that's what I think. We hope.
So as Ray said, we're going to test weekly and see what the trend is. If it's up, then we are concerned. If it's down, we're not concerned. Yes, Steve?
I've observed the exchange of communications with Aqua, and as we all know, it hasn't been as cooperative as we had hoped it would be. And I'm curious to know if Aqua, I know they're a very big company and have a lot of POAs. I'm curious to know how many of those POAs have lakes that are swam by the numbers. And if we've spoken to any of them to see if they have similar problems with Aqua, getting information to them and trying to do something about it.
Monticello is one example.
Are they with Aqua?
Yeah.
That'd be a good start.
Well, I've heard, and I don't recall the source, it was a year or so ago that I looked into that. We had similar account billing issues.
I'm not worried about billing issues. I'm worried about if they have a spill, we have to know it.
Yeah.
And we have to know it now. Not a week from now or a month from now. And to me, that's the most important thing they communicate. Billing things can be fixed in a month or two. Water quality is key.
Well, what's a concern, I share that concern. And a concern there too is that they, I called the lab that they use, and they had only used that lab, and they had no request for tests from Aqua year to date. So that's a real concern to me, because they have reported spills. Now, we don't know how far inland the spills, and if they deem the spill it won't have any impact on the lake, they won't test it. But still,
That's not their decision.
What'd you say?
That's not their decision as to whether it's going to have an impact on the lake.
Well, there are two lift stations, Steve. You may not be aware of this, that do not drain into the lake. There's no way, if they have an overflow at those two lift stations, the drainage is below the dam.
How many stations are there?
16 or 17.
Let's keep it simple for Aqua. If there's a spill, we need to know about it, and we need to know about it now.
Fair enough.
I like simple.
All right. Well, you notice that was in the letter to Aqua.
Yes.
And we will follow up on that letter, make sure they understand how mad we are, and they understand that they've got to do something about their practices.
Do we know if Lake Monticello is experiencing the same type of lack of communication?
We don't, but I've taken a note. We'll follow up on that. It's a good suggestion.
But even if they are, right, you know, the point is it's happening here, and this is what we need to know about how they will solve our problem.
We always learn from others.
Susie?
Ray, how many spots are they testing? Just these three?
Yes. Those are your swimming areas.
That's what we've always done. Our testing protocol has always had 3 tests, or 3 specified places in the lake.
I'm wondering if we shouldn't expand that to the places where those things run over. I think like our inlet's one and the other inlet next to ours.
Yeah.
because those go right out to the beach area. Might want to think about that after, especially after we have a rain event and the trucks are coming down.
Are you, is that a,
It costs more, doesn't it, to test more?
yes, it does.
Yeah.
Is that a thought, or are you making a motion?
I don't know, we
that the
might
board
want to just
changes testing protocol?
try to get Aqua to do that,
Aqua will not do it unless they have a spill. We've already tried that.
and we don't know that they have spill unless they own it.
That's correct.
And the cost is really nominal.
It is?
Yes, about $25 per sample.
It seems to me that the first thing you gotta do is get them to tell us what's happening in 3 places, right? I mean, I like your.
No, and I can tell when it happens, because there's a lift station right by my house, and the pumper trucks are racing down there to pump it out.
Yeah,
So when that happens and we see that, anyone in the whole neighborhood sees it, let's test. The following, whenever the time is right to do that. A week later, I don't know, the next day, I'm not sure.
Well, Aqua is obligated by contract to do that testing at their expense. I think the right thing is to get them to live up to their contract.
So maybe after we have an event, we should immediately contact them.
well, maybe what happens here in the middle of it, maybe because you're there, is maybe you call Ray and say, by the way,
Yeah,
there
they
has
were
been,
here, yeah.
and we should be receiving a test, and if we don't within a day, or whatever, then at least you've been able to poke. I mean, living where I am, I can see trucks when they come by me, I don't know where they're going.
Does anybody else see them? Well, I'm in Dave, I see them next door, but
Yeah.
nobody else sees them?
I mean, I see them coming up and down Lake Holiday, I can tell you when they're doing that, and I could report that to Ray, because that's the only time I assume that they're coming.
Maybe if we put a notice in the newsletter, asking people to notify us if they see the pumper truck.
Oh boy, I'll probably get hundreds of phone calls.
Yeah,
I don't want.
I don't think they'd know the
Maybe just a couple
difference, and every
strategic,
time an
but-
aqua truck went through, somebody'd be calling.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be glad to.
Yeah, I'm
call Ray,
willing
but I
to
see
do
them
that,
when
that's
I see
fine.
the trucks, at least then you'll know, hey, something's going on. Maybe that's important.
You have to be a little bit careful with that, because every pump truck does not imply a spill.
No, but it implies that they're pumping out what's in those stations, which means we should test.
No, I disagree with that. I think we should test when there's been a spill of hazardous material.
I agree with that. If they're doing that, Ray should call and see what happened and see if they own what's happening.
Okay.
Okay.
They're only obligated to test on spillage.
Not for sure.
Well, sometimes have to pump out the lift stations because the pump is failing. So they bring in a truck, they pump it out, but there never is a spillage.
Okay.
So if they get it early enough, it may not be a problem,
That's right.
even if there's pumper trucks.
That's right. All right, let's keep this within the board at this time. Anybody in the board notes a pump truck going through, call Ray, and Ray will take it back to Aqua and see if there's justification for a lake testing.
Item 6 is tax liability and penalties. We have contacted Mr. Broom with Reese Broom, Diaz. And we are waiting from from the Virginia Tax Department for a letter of notice. Once this is received by us, we will then provide an offer in compromise to the department. And that starts the whole process of the appeal process. So that's where we are on the 0504 tax liability and interest.